pleasant viewing to you all. I am Anna Tanyela Zomazura and welcome to Hot Seat, a show that always brings you nothing but the best and the best in the sports industry. And we get to talk about volleyball, and it is sponsored by MNL in partnership with Jamcon Consultants. And today is going to be a different day because Matebo Agachinja Naika. I'm joined by an administrator and correspondent in volleyball who goes by the name Thomas Mangwiro. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Anna, for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's always pleasing. So, can you tell us who is Thomas Mangwiro?
Thank you, Anna. Thomas Mangwiro is a man who is into volleyball as an administrator and also an amateur writer, correspondent. But I was born in Kwekwe. A long time ago, grew up in Kwekwe, my school in Kwekwe, and later in Chiwi, in the rural parts of Chiwi in Masu. So later on, I migrated to Harare, like most of the people, and to find employment. And when I came here, I joined the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and I was posted to support unit. Basically, that is about me, and that is where I got in love with sport, and particularly volleyball.
Volleyball, interesting. Love, I think age here, especially my age, my generation, they know nothing about it. And in fact, about you specifically, age maybe volleyball, maybe volleyball, they know you. But there's a song that you used to sing as volleyball. Can you just take us through that song?
Okay. Support unit at one time, it became a powerhouse.
Okay.
The ladies, and it was about in 2012. So we decided to have our women's team also stronger like the men, and we recruited players from many teams, and so I became an administrator of the team. I was the vice chairperson by that time, and I also was their #1 fan.
Okay.
So it was one of these days when the bus left to use it for the games, and I was coming for the games by public transport. So I was listening to music on my phone with my earphones plugged. So when I arrived, our support unit ladies were playing one of those teams. I don't remember, it must be JS. So when I arrived at the court, I was listening to one of these songs, the Makorokoto from Aga Tamuruzo.
Okay.
It's actually a wedding song.
Okay.
So that part where it's Maria Venemi, Maria Kuchengete. So I started singing along but loudly, supporting the team.
Alone?
Yes,
just
alone.
Like that.
That's how it started. So most of the matches involving support unit, I was singing that song.
Okay, I can see how religious you are.
Yes.
Okay, maybe I can take you maybe a little back. Like, why not any other sport? Why volleyball? Why volleyball?
Growing up in Kwekwe, I used to like soccer that much, and I was a soccer player, but I was not good enough. So when I joined the Zimbabwe Republic Police, I decided to try again. Their stations, so at support unit to call them troops. So the main troops were the league's troop. So I started playing soccer. Then I realized that I was very good, but the passion with soccer made the commanders to make me a coach. I was actually 19 years old.
19.
So I started to be a coach first, a soccer coach. So we're playing a lot in the Zimbabwe Republic Police. There are so many sport coaches, more than 17 of them.
17. So
you had to be resourceful. A troop, most of the people are not sports person. So you had to play 1 or 2 or 3 sports, dance, volleyball. So I started again to play volleyball.
Okay.
So I did not manage to join the professional team at support unit, which was in Division 2. So I decided to be an administrator.
Okay.
So I started as a treasurer of support unit, football club that was in 2000. So later on, I started following volleyball. Then I became the vice chairperson of support unit volleyball in 2011.
Okay.
The team was growing, so I just fell in love with the sport and I became its vice chairperson. That's how it started until today.
Okay, so interesting. So to someone asking us, we say maybe for someone who's just joined right now, what support unit? Is it a club? Or
Yes,
it's
Support Unit Volleyball Club is a club which has got 2 teams, men and women.
Okay, and for those who have just joined us right now, I'm joined by Thomas Mangwiro, who happens to be the administrator and a correspondent in the volleyball. And we've come to the end of the first segment. Please stay tuned as we come to the second segment. It is always health to be in sport, and I'm loving volleyball. I think the next time that I'm going to meet Mr. Mangwiro, I'm going to talk with him privately. No, I need to be taught this. Anyways, we've come to the second segment of Hot Seat, where we get to unmask anything that has to do with the volleyball. And Mr. Mangwiro, I understand kuti vanhu vakawanda vanofunga kuti kutamba maybe volleyball or to be in any sport zvine kachirombe mukati, vamwe vanoti hazvina mari. But can you share with us some of your greatest achievement in the volleyball?
Thank you. People are misinformed that Tamba sport is negative. Actually, sport is a gateway to many places. Others say if you want to see the world, play sport.
Okay.
It's only that our sports administration maybe in the countries what is lacking, but sport generally is a good thing for many people. People have earned a living through sport. So myself, I can say I've managed to get so many advantages at work by just being a sports administrator. There are so many favors I have received just for being a sports administrator. I've traveled to many countries. I've attended courses like sports administration through sport, being funded by the Zimbabwe Republic Police, and promotion.
You were promoted?
I was promoted through sport. I was actually a sports officer at one time in support unit. So I was recognized for working in the sport, and we've seen so many people at support unit growing. And besides me gaining personally, I've seen a lot of people who I have managed. In chess, in athletics, in football and volleyball. So I can say there are so many benefits. Maybe I may fail to point out
Okay.
it was actually intrinsic, but there's a lot to gain from and one of the things we have managed to do as administrators, as support unit, we managed to convince the authorities at one time to employ people. We have employed a lot of people to join the Zimbabwe Republic Police through volleyball, even with soccer. I was also once a Secretary General with the Black Mambas Football Club. So I've seen a lot of gains through sport, not for me specifically, but for other people.
Okay, so besides any other benefits that you have mentioned, have you ever won an award or any certificate?
Yes. I'm an amateur writer. I'm not trained to be a journalist, but I started writing about sport, mostly volleyball and Division 1 soccer, around 2008. And my first recognition was in 2012, if I am not 2014, if I am not mistaken, by the Harare Volleyball Association, led by Shadrach Chisoko. Then, when I was adjudged the best reporter and received a medal, I was also recognized by the sponsors of this program, MNL. That is where I got what I can say the biggest prize for being an amateur journalist. I received a laptop and a miniature shield. And I was also recognized by the Zimbabwe Volleyball Association in the last edition of the Zimbabwe Premier Volleyball League as the best reporter. So to my name, I've got 3 awards so far, and maybe praises from the people, volleyball enthusiasts.
Wow, so interesting. Congratulations once again. Okay, so at maybe around midnight on the 4th of October, you sent a message via WhatsApp and you announced your departure from the SU Secretary General. Why that time?
Yeah, things usually happen at night, and when people are sleeping, people should wake up to some news.
To some news.
If you don't wake up to news, then it's not interesting.
Now you're talking. You said you're a mature journalist. News is very important.
Yeah, sure. So I just decided when I was sleeping that it's time to call it quits. Not to quit volleyball per se, but to quit as a sports administrator, being the Secretary General of Support Unit. I worked there for close to more than 10 years, close to 15 years. So it was time for me to leave and pass the baton to the others.
May you please be clear there. Was this you just thinking about it, or maybe something happened?
No, there's nothing that pushed me out of Support Unit. Support Unit is my my love, one of my love, and I will never be away from that team. That team shaped me. It made me who I am even today. I was recognized and known in the volleyball fraternity because of Support Unit Volleyball Club. So I cannot abandon them. I cannot abandon the ship, or at least I'm one of the captains. So it was time just to pass it on to someone else. There are no issues at Support Unit. It's one of the most stable clubs, if people can testify. So personally, I said this is the time for me to leave the position.
Okay, and viewers who are just watching right now, I think machine speed. And do you think that your departure will have an impact on the team that are traveling to Zone 3?
No. Why? Because Support Unit is an institution that has got strong structures. It's not based on individuals. When I was working as the Secretary General of Support Unit, I was working in an executive committee of 11 people, and there is a Secretary General and also a Vice Secretary. And currently I'm not around, I'm not staying in Harare, and I will not be staying in Harare for quite a few months. The Vice Secretary General is the one working for the team, for all the administrative issues of the team, even without the executive committee. Support Unit is one institution that is a strong sports office that can lead in sports anyway, anyhow. So I don't think my departure can affect the team in all what they've planned ahead. Even planning, they are also available for consultation if there's anything they may need from me.
Okay, and someone just sent me a message before we had this interview, and the question reads, I'll just read it as it is.
Okay.
So, with the SU men's coach also stepping down, and a few weeks later, you as the SG leaving, is everything okay in the SU camp?
As seen in the last few weeks, there were matches that were played in Pindura, there were matches that were played in Masvingo, and at the weekend there was the Pink Top tournament, and there are also matches coming up. Support Unit is fulfilled its obligations, they are always there, and even the associations we are affiliated to, the Harare Volleyball and ZPVL, they have not seen a gap.
Okay.
It's as normal. As for the coach, I may not be privy now to comment about him stepping down, but the fact of the matter is that he was not, he didn't step down.
So
it's about contractual issues, and no one did not fulfill his part. So it was time. There are challenges these days financially, and so it tends to affect your employees. So it's nothing unusual. It was one of those things where coaches come, coaches leave, and myself leaving, there's got nothing to do with problems at support unit. Actually, there are no problems at support unit.
Very clear, and thank you very much for that clarity. We've come to the end of the second segment. Stay tuned as we get to the third segment. You're still watching Hot Seat, where we get to meet volleyball players, volleyball coach, correspondent, administrators in Zimbabwe. And today I'm joined by Thomas Mangwiro, for those who know him, who is the best administrator at this season.
There are so many administrators, many good administrators.
Are you sure? So are you not trusting yourself?
I cannot say I'm the best administrator, but I think I enjoyed being a sports administrator.
At least you cannot tell yourself that you are the best, but I can say it.
Okay.
Yes.
I receive.
Okay, so what's next for Thomas Mangwiro in sport or in the volleyball?
Thank you, Anna. As you can see where we are seated here, that is where I'll be concentrating much. There was this, one of the things that motivated me to leave sports administration is issues of conflict. At times when you want to be a journalist, rather an amateur, someone doing jobs, you tend to, or people would rather see you as biased towards certain teams. So I saw this project by MNL, where they are trying to make volleyball visible through the media. I decided, when they called me to join them, I said yes. Why can I not join them? So when I joined them, this project, it requires a lot of attention. So at times with your club, with this project with your club, at times you impartial. So I said, maybe for this time, let me concentrate on media. Now I'm trying to get a qualification, starting from next year, to be someone who's qualified. So I said, no, sports administration, others can take over, and I do this. So this project, MNL project, is what is shaping me right now, and I want to fully concentrate on it. So people will be seeing me. I'll be writing as usual. I write articles about volleyball. I'm always on this show, the Hotseat. So this is what I'll be doing for now.
Okay, interesting. So in the could you please don't concentrate on volleyball only?
I used to do even soccer. I'm also looking at going into netball. By next year, I promise you, I'll be in volleyball, I'll be in netball, I'll be in soccer, tennis, and chess, because at support unit we've got so many athletes who are doing well internationally, nationally. So I would want their stories to be out there. Not waiting for the mainstream media, but even all the teams that are around support unit and everywhere else. That is what will make our teams get to be noticed and have employment for other people who are not even police officers. So definitely I will venture into other sports.
Okay, so interesting. So during your time as an administrator, you have stated that you faced challenges like conflicts. Besides that, what are some of the challenges that you faced during your journey?
Yeah, there are so many challenges. being a sports administrator, you want to go and play sport, you have to organize the teams, you have to travel, you have to find accommodation for the teams in a sport that is not giving much back to the teams. It is very difficult when you go to your authorities, to your principals, always asking for money, and you come back saying, we've won, we are number one. What do you have at the end? There's nothing. So those are some of the challenges where you find the principals at times threatening to withdraw, saying, no, you can do sports as wellness programs rather than professional. You know, resources are scarce, things are difficult in the country. So headaches. An audit administrator usually on Tuesdays, when you are starting to prepare for the weekend, and at times you want to go to Blawa, you want to go to Victoria Falls, you don't have the money, you don't even have the money for the players to come, you don't have money for the players to get their food, their training, even water. At times, and talking about the transport. So the challenges are there financially, and also when you are managing women teams. Women, they've got other things to do, they've got their jobs, they've got their families, they have chores to do on weekends. So to convince players to come and join your team professionally, where they will be away almost every weekend, it is tough. It drains you a lot, and injuries to players, a lot of stuff. So those are some of the challenges we are facing as administrators. The association, the Zimbabwe Volleyball Association, I think they need to do much for the sport to have some returns to the teams. Right now we're playing for nothing, just nothing. We play throughout the year, you are number one, you just have a trophy and medals and nothing else. You spend $20,000 to $50,000, but nothing coming back to you.
And for those who are just watching us right now, you are watching Hotseat, where we get to talk about nothing but about volleyball, and I'm joined by Thomas Mangwiro. So we've come to the end of the show, and before we go, can you give us your first 6 2024 men's team and their head coach?
From across or?
Across.
Wow, man. Yeah, maybe I can just pick the 6.
Okay.
The first into my team is Nigel Kalumba Tiger. Yes, I also have Takuzo Mashaka, Sharks. Also want to have who is this other player, Kuzo. And also have who's the other one? That what's the name? The Naba CB. Is it, what's the name? I'm forgetting the name. I'll talk about it. So I've got now 3.
About 4.
And I also have Kabutsu. Also want to leave. How many?
We now have 5, I think. 5.
5?
Yes.
Wow. There's so many good players out there. And who's the other one? I'll take one from my team. And that would be Wilberforce Nyabonde.
Okay, interesting.
Coach. Wow, there are a lot of good coaches out there. But I'll go with Itsana Mabubasutu.
And their head coach, so we only have one coach so far.
Itsana.
Itsana
Mabubasutu will be the coach.
Okay. I think they are listening right now. Thank you very much, Thomas Mangwiro, for having a hot seat with me and with us. And thank you very much, MNL, in partnership with Jamcon Consultants. And I am Anna Tenera Zomazura. We have come to the end of this show. Please keep supporting, keep subscribing on our socials. It's a goodbye.